Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Arya Prabhadiguna, and I'm from the opponent sides, negative sides. And the motion today is this House will require political candidates to pass a political competency test in order to run for office. Let's start this speech by repeatedly. First point, political competency test. The idea of a test for politicians is problematic. Who will create and administer for the test? The content of the test will be highly subjective and could manipulate to favor of a certain ideology or political party. Furthermore, a test doesn't necessarily measure a person's ability to lead, negotiate, or empathize with the public. Second point, prior professional experience. While professional experience is valuable, limiting political candidates to specific fields like healthcare, law, or industry could exclude individuals with valuable experience in other areas such as community organizing, teaching, or art. A diverse range of experience is crucial for effective government work. Third point, public posted test results. Making test results public could lead to focus on candidates' test score rather than their overall character, vision, and policy proposal. It could also create a class of professional politicians who are skilled at taking tests but are not truly representative of the general population. Now, let's jump into my argument. In the recent years, concern about the quality and competence of political leadership have intensified across many democracies. From misinformation to poor policy decisions, voters and scholars alike have questioned whether elected officials always possess the knowledge and skill necessary to govern effectively. In response, some have proposed implementing a mandatory political competency test for all individuals wishing to run for public office. Such a test will assess to candidates' understanding of the Constitution, public policy, land-making process, and other key areas to governance. Proponents argue that this will ensure a baseline of competence and protect democracy institutions from unqualified leadership. However, critics warn that such a policy may infringe on democracy freedom, reinforce elitism, and open the door to discrimination or political manipulation. This debate explores whether requiring political candidates to pass a competency test would strengthen or undermine democracy process. It undermines democratic principles and voter sovereignty. Requiring candidates to pass a political competency test fundamentally undermines the core democratic value of popular sovereignty. The idea that power resides in people in a democracy, it is the people, not a panel or a test, who should decide who is fit to lead them. By creating a gatekeeping mechanism before election even take place, we risk replacing democracy with technocracy or elitism, where only those who fit certain institutional standards on participate. This raises several questions. Who writes the test? What knowledge is considered competent? Who decides what is essential to know to serve the people? Any attempt to answer this will involve subjective judgments and opens the door to bias, politicians and abuse of power. those in power could tailor the test to exclude outsider dissenters or candidates from unpresent background, especially activists or grassroots leaders who may not have formal education but are deeply connected to their communities. Discrimination against marginalized or non-traditional candidates. This policy disproportionately disadvantages candidates from marginalized community, especially those with less access to formal education or political training. Incompetency tests, however fair it claims to be, often reflect the wonder view and values of those who design it. Usually, the educated elite. Political leadership is not solely about academic or textbook knowledge. It's also about empathy, lived experience, grassroots connection, charisma, the ability to listen and represent. If such law existed in the past, many transformative leaders, especially those from resistance or revolutionary movement, might never have qualified even though their leadership changed history. Therefore, while the idea of ensuring competent leadership may seem appealing on the surface, requiring a political competency test creates more harm than good. It shifts the power to decide who can lead away from the people and into the hands of unelected authorities, threatening the foundations of democratic participation. Instead of strengthening democracy, this motion would weaken it by limiting access to leadership based on rigid and potentially biased criteria. True politician legitimacy comes not from passing a test but from gaining the trust and votes of the people. That is why this House should not require political candidates to pass a political competency test in order to run for office. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you.